Hello and welcome to GMIHub Online. We're so glad you could join us today. It's going to be an amazing show. We are going to be talking about digital distribution of your music through CD Baby. I like to say CD Baby, but never mind. So the GMIHub.ca, I'm okay. I'll be fine. Don't worry. I'll have my drink and I'll be fine. Okay, so GMIHub.ca, go on there, check out the website. We love you to also to take a chance to look at all the videos we have here on the GMI Hub Online, the YouTube channels here. We got amazing resources, over 50 videos of amazing interviews that you don't want to miss. If you really like what you're seeing tonight, please share it. Share it with your friends, then share the experience, and we'll have a great time tonight as we hang out. And my name is Dale Borland.
And I'm Cheryl Duick. I'm so glad to see you guys today, or that you're seeing us. Hope you all had a great Easter weekend. And we're back on track every week, every Monday. So we look forward to bringing great information to you. As mentioned, we have a special guest from CD Baby, Darryl Hurs, who is the Director of Marketing for CD Baby Canada. I'm so happy he's able to join us today. Welcome, Darryl.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm real excited to be here.
Yes. So Darryl, you're the director of marketing for CD Baby, and we really want to talk about music distribution for sure. We're just gonna get right into that. But I also know that you are the coordinator for Indie Week, which would also be touching on music distribution as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Indie Week, we do, well, COVID has forced us to go online, and now we're doing basically 4 conferences a year online, and we'll be talking about that.
I know this may seem elementary, but what exactly is the role of a music distributor?
Yeah, well, I got to say, I think a lot of people with the tech world kind of lose the definition of those kinds of things. And I think they also take things for granted because everything is digital and they think everything is a push of a button and it's instant. So I use an analogy. Imagine if you're traveling and you're on an island in Greece and you go to a corner store and you open up the refrigerator and you're able to buy a Coca-Cola. Somebody got it there. And so as far as digital distribution, our role is to get people's music out to the masses. And things keep developing and changing, and it's changing super fast. So for instance, a new DSP opens in China. Well, somebody has to do the negotiations and the deal to make it so that North American or international music can get distributed there. And of course, the deals are negotiated so that, the hopes is to get the best deal for the artist. And it's literally country by country, DSP by DSP, all of that kind of stuff. And there's always new ones popping up. So the distributor is out there always looking for new places to get music heard and placed. So hopefully that puts it into a bit of perspective. But it's funny. I had somebody comment on Facebook once, kind of complaining, a distributor just puts music everywhere. Yeah, that's what distribution is. We get it everywhere. It's the kind of thing like Coca-Cola is literally everywhere, and they're successful because of that, and it builds brand equity. People start recognizing it, and when that happens, you start having more negotiation power. When a new DSP opens up, we're able to go in and say, we've got all of this equity. You want it? Give us the best deal that we can for the artists. So that's something to consider. A lot of people think it's a real easy job, but we're dealing sometimes with, again, I've used that Greek island because I've been to the Greek islands lots of times. And, once it's there, it's really on the company or who is represented in that territory. And, sometimes English is a second language. And so the language translations could be, there's nuances and cultural differences and so on. So you really want somebody that has a lot of experience in representing your music. And so that's another thing, because I know that new distributors pop up and stuff, but they might not necessarily have the negotiation power or the experience to really try to get the best deal.
So what really, if you're talking about distribution, that means you're giving access to that artist's particular music on a platform, or is it they have to come to you, to CD Baby, for instance, to get the music, and then you, like, how does it work as far as, like, what's the difference between the distribution and the publication of the song?
Well, the kind of I think just sort of a quick step by step. It's the artist or songwriter would have to upload their music and all their information to a distributor like CD Baby, and then CD Baby's job is to get it sent out to all the DSPs around the world, like an Apple, a Spotify, an Amazon, YouTube, all of that. So that's really how it works, is the information and the files get delivered to us through the artist, and then we deliver it there. And one of the things that CD Baby does that a lot of others don't do is that we've actually got inspectors that go through all the submissions and make sure metadata is correct, artwork is correct, the name is correct before it gets sent out. If I can sort of, this is like I was dealing with it like with a few artists today, so it's real fresh in my head. But the point is, once it's distributed and sent, you can't change it, right? So a lot of people think it's digital, so I just want to change the name, or I want to, can I add a producer to it, or could I? No. Once it's there, it's there. So think of that Coke can. It's printed and sent to Greece. Imagine if somebody goes, oh, can I get that can back and change the artwork on it? No, it's printed and it's gone. And a big part is there'll be a code, like an ISRC code, UPC code attached to the material. And when that's logged, it's like putting it into the library. And so that around the world, if anybody looks it up, it's exactly what was delivered, right? And again, we're dealing globally. That company in Spain is a lot different than the company in Greece, a lot different than the company in Japan. And to try to then tell all of them, everybody, stop what you're distributing now. We're going to change it, and you need to put it back into your database. They just don't allow it. So it's kind of like the
and publication are not interchangeable because they don't have the same meaning whatsoever. So
yeah, so that's one thing that, and I was dealing with a few artists today on that, because they're like, oh, I want to change this, and it's like, you can't. Oh, well, I thought I could. No, and part of it is just simply it's digital, and we just think it's like changing a file name and no problem. But the part of it is that as we move forward through technology, especially like think Spotify and Apple, they really care about what they're delivering. And if something is false, it's their reputation.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say I distributed a song, I put my name on it, but that song was actually the Beatles. Right. But it's my artwork, my cover. Well, somehow that's got to get checked. And all, unfortunately, there's people in the world that try to get around these kind of things and try stuff. There's kind of like a famous sort of thing that happened early days of distribution where I think it was a group of college students. They actually uploaded a track of silence, nothing. And then they emailed all their college friends and said, when you go to sleep, put this on repeat. And all of a sudden, Spotify owed them $20,000 in royalties. And so people are always trying to trick it. So now what ends up happening is things get stricter and stricter, and new policies that, like, can you do things like all uppercase except for the middle letter? And can we do things that aren't even words? Like, I'm going to do DX9496. they're starting to clamp down on that and say, no, it's got to be a real word. So some artists now, when they're trying to submit the distribution, it's being sent back because the name they're using isn't a real word, right? So and they'll go, oh, well, Prince did it, and that's like, yeah, they make exceptions for the big guys, unfortunately. Yeah. Like where there's money, they'll say yes. So that's something to consider, right? And you know, we do the best job, but you know, and I get it. A lot of people want to be unique and they want to be creative, but we're also dealing with a global platform that has to translate around the world. And as the world gets bigger, somehow it gets smaller too, I find.
So I wanted to clarify, you've used the term, the acronym DSP, which I assume means digital streaming platform. Is that correct?
Digital service provider.
Oh.
So yeah, like Apple, Spotify, it's same. You could literally say streaming platform too, but it's basically a digital service provider.
Okay. So I'm curious. I know that, you know, CD Baby is not the only distribution company that's around. If an artist wants to seemingly maximize their, you know, their song getting around the world, is it worth it for them to list their song with 2 different or 3 different, in other words, with multiple distribution companies, or does that cause some confusion in the industry?
A little bit of both, but there are people do that. So I'll give you, maybe the easiest way to explain it is give kind of an example. So there's some deals that we do where, say, an artist has a record label and say that record label is in Germany, but they're based in Canada. Canada, they already have a fan base, they have a foundation, and they might not want to give a percentage of that to a foreign company. So they might have that German record label distribute globally minus Canada or even North America. So you can kind of carve out which territories you want to distribute or not. And there might be some cases where an artist might be waiting, that they might be like, you know what, we're really kind of blowing up in, say, the UK. Let's not release it there yet, because if we do, now the attraction won't be there for a record label because it's already released. So there's ways that artists are kind of customizing it, and that's really the DIY ethic. It's they get the chance to control their business and make the decisions. I think the unfortunate side is maybe they haven't thought it through enough or planned appropriately when doing so. And I totally get it, especially during this time. Everybody just wants their music out and now and yesterday, and they just want to get it out there. You know, there still has to be some care about the business side and the marketing side and promotion of the music. But it really is up to them when they're using an online distributor. They get that chance to kind of carve it out. Sometimes with certain distributors and certain levels, there might be hindrances or certain, you know, parts of the agreements that won't allow, like maybe it's an exclusive deal, and then that everything has to be through them and nothing else. But you know, we're a DIY platform where we don't own any of the artist's music. They can do whatever they want with the music. Our job is to get it delivered and out there. And then the other half of that is to then collect money on behalf of the artist and pay the artist. So that's the big part of those deals is that we're getting where the DSPs are reporting to us, and the rights organizations are reporting to us, and we're collecting the money and paying the artist. And that's something that I'm very proud of, because CD Baby, we were the first to really negotiate the deal with Apple. You know, we were the first to get independent music on Apple. You had to be with a record label before. And where we're also very proud is we pay every week. So if there's money to be paid to an artist, we pay it. Where in other cases, you might have to wait 6 months or more before the payment gets sent out. So if we get it received, check will be in the mail next week.
Very cool. And artists are really appreciating that, I'm sure. Just this time, I want to just say to everybody who's watching right now, thank you for watching. This is GMI Hub online. We're streaming live here on YouTube. And if you're liking this, please share the experience. Let friends you know that might be interested in knowing about this, about what's going on right now. That'd be really cool. Also, to let you know, we have a website. It's www.GMIHub.ca, and you can check out there all the different things. We also, on the website, if you go down to the bottom, there's a place where you can fill in your email and get a chance to get our monthly updates. And that's called Hub Happenings. And that comes out from the GMI Hub office, and we'll send them out to you once a month. And it'll be something that'll put you on our mailing list for that. And you won't get any spam or anything like that. But we just want to just enjoy the fact that, you know, as a community, we can be here for you. To also, if you have a release of a song or you're something that you're doing as an artist, you make us aware of it. And if you give us permission to, we can add that to the Hub Happenings, and that'll give some extra promotion for you as well. And I think that's essential for all artists that are out there that are needing to do something with their music career. Now, I do want to touch on something that's coming up. I'm taking so long to talk, I know, but we have a Christmas project we did last year, and we're doing it again this year. And we're taking submissions for our Christmas project. And what it basically is, we're doing a compilation of people's songs that are Christmas material. And we're going to put it onto this album called GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 2, because like I said, we did the one last year as well. And now if you get your song in by June 13th, we'll be able to get your song, if it passes through all of our checklist, it'll go into the CD, and we'll be so glad if you would do that and take advantage of that by going on to www.gmihub.ca right now. We're going to talk about something a little bit later called Indie 101, but that's just a little tease. Let's get back to our conversation, shall we?
So, Darryl, you talked a little bit about the DIY. So when an artist actually, I guess, contacts CD Baby and goes, I don't know if they contact or just upload their music. Do they actually get to talk to someone at CD Baby and saying, this is what I want you to do this, I want you to do this and not do that? Like, do they have that conversation, or is it all done online?
For the most part, it's done all online through the dashboard.
Okay.
And we've got a pretty extensive, it's support.cdbaby.com. So it's like the artist help center where there's lots of questions that are already there. Think of it as like a big FAQ. Mm-hmm. And then there's also submit a request there where you can actually submit a request for help. And that starts a dialogue with somebody from our support team through email. We used to have phone numbers to call in, but COVID happened and everybody's sitting at home right now. So normally there's like 40 people in a room all answering artists by phone and stuff, but we had to send everybody home and set them up remotely. And that was, I gotta say, that was quite the task. You know, when you don't know you're gonna be locked down at home or not, and then all of a sudden you are. It took a bit to get everyone set up. Like we literally had to send some people full systems to get them set up at home. So COVID has made it where phone calls are not as easy to handle remotely. So basically we're doing everything through the submit. But that said, you know, there are times where phone calls happen when it's necessary. So in fact, an artist today messaged me that they just got off the phone with one of the people on our support team. So when it makes sense, yes.
Okay.
But I gotta say, that's also what I'm here for. Artists in Canada reach out to me, so I'm kind of guiding them through the process a little bit or answering the questions. And I sometimes am the buffer that can help also our support team you know, expedite things or try to explain things a little bit easier so that it could be digested through our support a little bit faster.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're so glad we have you here. Now you're talking to several artists all at the same time. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're hitting one of our core values. We're talking about unity, community, mentorship, and talent growth. And the community aspect is what you're helping to build here. And I think it's really essential for artists who are in our modern situation and the climate that we're at.
Yes.
Yeah, and I got to plug two more things actually. Now that you say that, we also have a DIY blog and a DIY podcast,
Oh, wow.
and we normally have a DIY conference, but of course, we're not able to gather in person, and we haven't been able to host our conference, which I was missing because it's in Austin, and I was supposed to go to Austin last year. But we're very, very big on education, I got to say. And plus we have a newsletter as well, but education is so important because a distributor, we get the music out there, but if there isn't that thought process behind it, the planning behind it, you can be lost in the white noise of thousands of songs. I believe the number I saw earlier this year was 60,000 songs are being uploaded to Spotify a day.
Wow. What should an artist expect from a distribution company like CD Baby?
Really, again, for a lot of it, it is DIY. Like, I mean, the uploading process goes through the website and the dashboard, but we're trying to, like, I'm part of the international team. And so we've got people in different territories, and we're building relationships with artists and also local schools. I'm talking to at least 2 schools a month. I just did Durham College. I just did Harris. I just did Ryerson. So we're trying to be out there, representing not only the company but giving education, so that when an artist goes to release their music, they can have more confidence when they're doing so, and hopefully not starting from square one. They might have learned a few things. And, I know when I was a musician, I had none of this. I wish I had some help, and I didn't. I just was told, get in a van and go drive and play somewhere, which was all that was available to us at the time. So that's a huge part. And through that, just with part of my background, I feel we're building a real great community here in Canada.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. I resonate with what you said about you going to a gig. Like I'd pile my drum set into a Honda Civic, and and it was a rack mount Tama, so it was brutal. And so you set it up, and it's just a lot of work. The way we used to do it was so different than today.
Yeah, and if I could just sort of share a quick story. This is one thing that I say almost all the time. My personal experience, when I was in a band, we would spend, I would say, upwards to almost $100 an hour in a studio to record. And there was no there was a bit of quantizing at the time, meaning all the drums were put into place in time, but we had to play it. And if we screwed up, we had to rewind the tape and play it again.
It's true.
Until it got there, right? So hours racked up when we're recording 10 songs.
Yeah.
And then to master a song, it was around $1,000 per track. So if I did a 10-song CD, that's $10,000 to mix and master it after you've done all the recording, and that's probably $10,000 to $20,000. And then you had to get artwork done, and then you had to print it on plastic. And I gotta admit, I'm old. I started with cassettes, and then CDs. Yeah, but then now you're adding on like $5,000-$10,000 more to the price tag. And so by the time it was actually ready for release, you've spent thousands of dollars. And back then, no record store would take it unless it's on consignment. So, and then no radio station would take it unless you're on a record label. And so thinking of distribution is, how do I get that music out there? So there was an actual barrier to distribution for independent artists back then during my time.
Yeah.
And our whole thing, we were the distributors because we would drive to another city, play a show, put the CD on the table and try to sell it after. That was our distribution.
Yeah, and there are tons of those records, those old 45s, were sitting in the back of the car.
Yep, and I just moved and I found a few extra boxes that I missed of. So I still got CDs, you know. So that's a big change. And you know what? I actually tell artists that I think this is the most exciting time to be an artist right now, because you don't have that overhead cost of like $20,000 to $30,000 to just get it out there, because a lot of people are doing it in their basements. And to upload a song, it's like $40 or $80 for an album or something like that. That gets out to the world. So this is an exciting time. And one aspect about the way we do the business of it is, once you upload a song or music through CD Baby, it is up for life. So you're not paying a yearly fee to keep it there. And the beauty of that is, if we make a deal with a new DSP, say in a country like Africa, your music is automatically distributed there. You don't have to do anything. So as the business is growing, your business is growing, and you're not doing any of the extra work.
Right. Absolutely.
Amazing. Like, I had none of that when I was an artist. And like I said, our distribution was us driving to another city, playing a gig and trying to sell a few CDs after.
That's right. Put them on your table at the back, the merch table, try to sell them.
That's it.
I don't know.
We're getting some questions from the audience, which are really, really good. Thank you so much for sending these. One question is, what is the best way for an artist to work with their distributor to penetrate the international markets?
Well, that's an interesting thing. Like, the reality is the distributor's job is to get it there, and it's more about the marketing side of it and building an audience. And you know, that's where a lot of our DIY blog and podcast is giving the information on how to do that. We actually do have other tools. So there's a whole family of tools, and one is show.co. And show.co, you can do advertising. And so it's a kind of thing that some artists, it's not clear, and I totally get it. And it's very big brother, but it could be your big brother. So the one thing I do talk about a lot is planning a release. And I really am big about, the more time you've got to plan it, the more chance it has to be heard. So, and I use an analogy like Marvel Universe. So when they released Avengers Endgame, they actually had announced the release date 4.5 years prior to putting it out. And all the way leading up to it, they would announce, this is the director. Here's the person writing the script. This actor is signed on. Here's a photo of the new Iron Man costume. Here's a little clip of them filming behind the scenes, and it builds the story. Right. And you'll hear it everywhere in the music business. If anybody's pitching an artist to anyone in an industry, the first thing they go is, what's their story?
So can you give us a kind of a rough outline of what that might look like as an artist looking at?
Yeah, so a story could be like, what are some accomplishments, but also what angles have they done to be unique? What has made it, like, one of the artists in Canada that we distribute is Walk Off the Earth. And Walk Off the Earth is internationally well known now, but before they did one particular video, no one knew them internationally. And basically they did a video where all 5 of the band members were around one acoustic guitar, and each of them played a piece on it and sang, and that went viral. And the funny part is, like, I knew Johnny just because we had him play for our, like, the festival I run. They played that in October. A friend of mine, a photographer, was the photographer for them, and got to know them a little bit. And I paid attention to the story because of that association. And it was really interesting to see that when that video went viral, And then within days, they were in LA on the Ellen DeGeneres show. She presented them with Fender guitars that were given from Fender Music. And all that excitement, all of a sudden a manager's interested, a record label's interested, and all of that kind of stuff. That's the excitement. And so many songs are released. What will make you stand out? And a lot of the times is your story. Now, also on the digital side, how many listeners do you have? How many followers do you have? That is looked at all the time now. So if your numbers aren't there, it's going to be very difficult. And I'm just saying the truth. It'll be very difficult to get a label interested. We're not a label, we're a distributor. And to define a little bit of the difference is the label kind of helps, like they plan the marketing plan, the strategy to the release. They'll have songwriters in a house, like there's Universal Records and Universal Publishing. So if the record label thinks that the songs aren't strong enough, they'll go through their wheelhouse of in their publishing and grab from the songwriters. And now they'll be able to have co-writers to help make hit songs. Right. But then they've got the power of the marketing behind it. And that's the big part. So if there's anything an artist can learn that is running their own business is marketing. And I say marketing all the time. So, I talked about Coca-Cola. You could find them on an island in Greece. But what is going to make it that when somebody opens up that door, that Coca-Cola is the product that they actually pick, right? And
placement, yeah, exactly.
And it's the branding, and it's the brand awareness, the messaging, and nowadays a lot of it is the social messaging behind it. Is very important. So it's a tough one. It's the other hat that an artist has to wear that is probably one of the least wanted hats to wear, of where now's the time to sell it.
Yeah,
it's really hard.
It's hard for an artist who's focused in the creativity side of it to actually have a business mindset. So it might be good for them to involve other people in that process to assist. And we talked about this on a previous show, but I think it's really a good time now to bring it up, that if there's any connection that you can have, ask people that you know are in the industry to get some assistance in this business side, because maybe you're not wired that way. But as you can see, Darryl's brought up an interesting point that we talked about before, how important it is to get that headspace of marketing and branding and trying to help you establish what it is you do. If you're just tuning in now, thank you so much for doing that. GMIHub Online, we have a whole bunch of different videos here, with over 50 of them, of different great interviews, just like the one we're having tonight. And we want you to check them all out. Share this experience with people that you know. If you know somebody out there who's doing music, or they're trying to get into the music business somehow, or they're a songwriter, maybe you should just let them know about us, and we'll be able to connect with them. Also on our website is GMIHUB.ca. And we have an incredible platform there as well for you to check out what's going on and what's coming up. And it'll be updated soon, because we have some new things coming your way, as well as there is a opportunity for you to give us your email address so that we can put you on our mailing list. And now this is not a big throwing you stuff that you don't need. This is once a month we send out our hub happenings. It's an email update, what's going on. And if you're an artist, or you're someone who's producing music and you want to promote your music, we would be more than happy to help you with that. And we'll put that in our hub happenings if you give permission to do so. And so go to GMIHUB.ca and check it out. And I want to thank you so much for doing that. That's really cool. Also, maybe Cheryl, you could tell us about what's happening with the Christmas project.
Yes, we are actually doing it again. We are doing a Christmas compilation album. We did it last year, and people jumped on that. We even had a Christmas special related with the album, and you know what? It was so well received. We're going to do it again this year. So if you are a songwriter and you are challenging yourself to write some music and you missed the deadline last year, well, there's a new deadline this year, June the 13th. We'd love to receive your original Christmas song to be considered to be included in our compilation album, which we hope will get some radio play, and we'll advertise it, and who knows, maybe we'll get something with CD Baby, who knows. Not to mention, hey Darryl, right?
Absolutely.
You want to help us out?
Absolutely. And if I can, I'll do a little plug on the newsletter.
Absolutely.
That we're going to share a CD Baby promo code for a free pro single release in the next newsletter, I believe, or one of the upcoming newsletters.
Yes.
So what that means is you'll get a free pro upload. And I just want to do a quick distinction. There's a standard which we distribute, but the pro is the publishing administration side, where that's really collecting the money from all the rights organizations around the world. So pro is where you want to be as far as the distribution. That's where the money's at.
The promo code will be sent to you in that newsletter. It's almost about $40, I think, around that ballpark of financial kind of amazing opportunity here, guys. It's a CD Baby promo codes coming your way on the next GMI Hub happenings. Darryl, we're talking about, I guess, you're director of marketing CD Baby Canada. So, and marketing is a big part of what you're kind of helping the artists through, kind of pulling them into distribution. But what kind of challenges would you have with an artist?
Oh, that's a can of worms, I'd say. We're faced with a lot of different aspects. And again, it's really because every artist's career often is unique from another artist. And the strategies that they're putting into play are different, and their plans are different. You know, I would say the one thing that we face a lot is people want things instantly, and that's the one thing is, and a question that we get, or I get all the time, is, can you get me onto a playlist? Can you put me somewhere out there that someone will hear us? And the hard part is the answer is, it depends, maybe. Because the one thing that we have to think about is that we have thousands of artists that we distribute, and to try to select and choose which one to pitch, and that pitch is based on a relationship. It's a real tough one. And you know, when you're pitching, and this is something that everybody has to understand about getting music onto playlists and out there, is that the playlist coordinator, or whoever you want, like the programmer or supervisor, they're trying to put together a collection of songs that will increase their listenership. Mm-hmm. Right? And so often the case, and this goes in all business and everything, is I'm often, when I'm doing a deal, just in running my own business outside of CD Baby or anything, is I actually look at it as what's in it for the other person. And I try to satisfy their need. And it means I want them to succeed. If they succeed, that means it's going to be a good relationship. And we're building that story together. You know, it's like, if that song was discovered on that playlist, well, now that's a connection, right? So that's what they're looking for. And if you've got to also understand, every other artist wants to be there too. Yeah. And so your competition is fierce. There's so many songs out there. And I think that what artists should be doing is looking for quality and looking for exactly the right fit, because often they're just trying to be everywhere on every playlist possible, or as many playlists as possible. But it's actually more impactful if it's the right playlist. Right. And truthfully, they can do the pitch themselves. And the best is to build that relationship directly, find out who's behind that playlist, find out how to submit to that playlist. Do that research first, as opposed to, hi, I'm this artist, here's my song, here's my video, here's my bio, can you look at it, can you post it, can you do it? And I feel when you approach or start a conversation asking first, what can you do for me? When really we should be saying, what can I do for you? And I think that's the approach to try to take with this, because they're hit up all the time by so many directions and everything. And that's why they don't answer emails most of the time, tell you the truth. Like, they don't answer unless it's something they know they want. So they often rely on people that they've built a relationship with and they trust that person. So if a friend of mine says, you really need to listen to this, I'm trusting them. Now, if they go, you really need to listen to this, and I listen to it, I'm like, what? I don't get it. Like, this is not good. Why are you telling me to listen to it? I'm not going to trust the next thing they asked me to listen to. So that's the thing, is all the people pitching, they want to always go with, if I pitch it, they're going to say yes. And if it's a song that they question, they don't want to pitch it because of that. So it's really relationship based. It's very important.
I'm going to go back to what you were saying about marketing. And you mentioned that when an artist gets a label, that label helps that artist with basically their marketing, the promoting, the release, all the planning related to the release of their songs and so forth. But now, what about the artist that doesn't have a label to help them? They don't quite have the frame of, I've got to do this marketing, right? And they need help. Can a distributing, does a distributor help with the marketing in any way for an artist, or do they refer them to someplace else?
For the most part, it's on the artist to do the marketing. Otherwise, again, we're dealing with thousands of artists all the time. So the distributor's role is to get the music delivered to all the platforms internationally, and for the publishing side, and that's the pro account side, is to collect the royalties on behalf of the artist and pay out the artist. But the marketing side really is on the artist. And again, every artist is unique, and it's like it's really hard to fit into a template a lot of the times. So it's very custom. And that's where an artist would say they need to build the team around them. And that's where a publicist comes into play. That's where a manager comes into play. And really, a lot of times a booking agent now comes into play in knowing which market and which market to go into, which ones not to, because they've done so many times with artists before through routing tours and such. But you really want to build that team around you. And I know that part is tough too, but you have to. And one thing that we talk about in business is scalability. And scalability is where you can handle it on your own up to a point, but at some point you need to rely on someone else to help you. Otherwise you can't scale upward. And a lot of times people are like, how do I get more listeners? Need marketing. How do I do that? Need a publicist. Like this is the thing, is to scale upward, you need to build a team around you. And this is sort of that mystery question that has gone throughout time in music. Who's the right person? And we often hear about bad deals, bad relationships. And I often say that a bad deal or bad relationship doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad company or a bad artist. It just often means they weren't ready to work together. So if an artists are often coming to me and saying, how do I get a manager? How do I get a booker? And it's almost like, if you're asking that question, you're not ready. Because if you're building your story, they'll come and find you.
Yeah.
So just like I said, that walk off the earth, now that's a rare thing, but video goes viral, the story develops. Now they've got tons of millions of views. Managers come for them and booking agents come to them. record labels go to them and they pitch them because there's some value there. If you don't have that story or audience built, now you don't have that negotiation power to get the deal to be in your favor. It often turns into the other party's favor, and that's the bad deal.
Yeah.
So you got to build the story, which helps build the audience. When you build your team, and the team players come into play when it's the right moment, and that's the magic. And we hear about that, and we'll be like, oh, look at them. And it's like, yeah, but you're not them. You got to focus on you and what you're doing on your career and not copy them. And so here's the one thing that's funny. When Walk Off the Earth released that video, and sorry, Johnny, I'm talking about your band a lot. But the thing is, they're so good at what they do that they're still really successful, right? And I love promoting or talking about Walk Off the Earth because they're great people. They do great music, and they've been consistent. They still are pumping out videos that are really engaging. Now, when they did that one video, 5 people, 1 guitar, all of a sudden within a week, I saw so many videos, 5 people, 1 guitar. We're going to do it reggae. We're going to do it like Bob Dylan. We're going to do it metal. That's not their story. And I don't know anyone else who became successful because they did 5 people and a guitar other than Walk Off the Earth. And that's their story to own.
Yeah.
So everybody has to kind of go, who am I? What do I want to be? Where do I want to be? And really be grounded and really have that strong base first, so that when they do bring in that outside member, that member can connect with where they want to go. And now they're both driving in the same direction. And they're not necessarily having to convince each other, let's go this way, not that way. So really, I often tell the artists, focus on you first. Really know who you are, what you want to be, where you want to be, but build a strong foundation and build your story up, and don't try to skip the steps, right? Because you need it so that your fan base is following you as you grow, and you're not trying to skip the step. And often people go, how do I get there? Well, you got to kind of walk there. You got to lump it out. It's not going to be fun. There's going to be hardships. Got it. And it's called paying your dues a bit. And you know, there may be that one artist that jumps the line and gets success really quickly, and people go, oh, I want that. That's still their story, and you can't fabricate it. Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. Sorry for the real long answer.
Those are wise words, my friend. Those are really wise words for somebody out there listening. Now, I want to talk about indie101.com a little bit.
Sure.
Indie Week, because our time is getting away from us. Check us out on GMIHub.ca. That's our website, and we have a place for you to fill in your email, just to let us know that you want to be part of our mailing list. We have an email which goes out every month, GMI Hub. And so it's going to be hub happenings for you guys to check out. And in there, this one in particular, we got a CD Baby promo coming in. It's going to be amazing. That if you join in right now, give us your email. We'll send you this monthly newsletter. And this month we'll have a CD Baby promo code for a saving of almost $40. And you don't want to miss out on this. So that's a good incentive, I'll tell you.
Yeah, basically it's a free pro single release. So if you're looking to release a single, this will get you there.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Free pro single release. Woo!
Absolutely.
That's why I like to call it CD, baby. Okay.
Darryl, before we go on to Indie Week, I do have another question that again came from the audience. I thought might be wise for you to answer, and that is, do companies like yours, like CD Baby, help with connecting artists with indie labels, radio stations, or print media?
Again, that's mostly on the marketing side, I got to say. Where the answer is kind of yes, is there is a radio sign up that you can, but it's internet radio, and that gets your music out there. I could do a plug for a company or association that I'm friends with called Earshot in Canada. earshot distribution, and they're not distributors to DSPs, they're distributors to get your music on campus radio. So I would do a plug for them, and there's a small fee, but basically if you want your music on campus radio, which is where a lot of artists are heard first and played first, and you do get royalties if it's captured, but that's earshot. But yeah, as far as marketing goes, it really is on the artist and the team, but there's different levels of distribution, and if it makes sense, we might red flag somebody, but it's really tough to get that, you know. Just again, there's thousands of songs coming our way every day. And I gotta say, since COVID started, last year we called it a tsunami, because it's like almost every artist uploaded every song they ever recorded in the month of April last year. Yeah, last year I was looking at the numbers like 12 months ago. I was like, wow, we did that in a month. It was crazy. Wow. So that's the one thing is like, you know what? We're really good at distribution, and we want to focus on that. And we want to get the best deal for the artist, and we want to make sure we're recouping for the artist and paying the artist. We want to be really good at that, which we feel we are. And you know, if you distract, I would say we might not be as good as the marketing if we started going down that route, because distribution is our business. With that said, like I said before, we do have tools. Show.co is a tool, and we just purchased, our parent company just purchased Foundy. So it's found.ee. And those are ways that you can run your ads through other websites. So like, you know, if you go to Rolling Stone magazine and you see the ads, this can get you placed there. And I mentioned Big Brother before. If anybody doesn't know about the Facebook Pixel, I really encourage Google Facebook Pixel. It's a tracking code that you put out there, and that will make your ads more intelligent. And that's really important these days. But again, marketing, it's a full-time gig. Like marketing is nonstop with social and TikTok, and man, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, all those social platforms that are out there today.
Yeah, and you know, I feel for the artists too. You know, that's the flip. When I was back in my day, we had the boxes of CDs and we played shows and we got people to the shows. That was our marketing. I didn't have to make my Instagram reel, to do my Twitter feed, to do my Instagram story and my Facebook post and my TikTok and my Snapchat. I didn't have to do all that and think of YouTube. Like, man, that's a hard part. And I think that really wears on the mental health of artists these days. So I feel for them. I feel for them. They're just trying to get heard, you know?
I recognize we're running low on time here. I wanted to cover the Indie Week conference. We're talking about, that's obviously not going to be what it used to be, but how is the indie101.com? What's that all about?
Sure. So the other hat I wear is I run a yearly conference called Indie Week. We went virtual last year, and now we're running a conference online basically every quarter, every 3 or 4 months. So we've got Indie 101 coming up next week. It's April 20th to 24th. And I actually have a promo code for that too. I like giving things away. I've got 20 free tickets available, and there'll be a link and an access code. So that's awesome. Oh. But we're talking about the creation of a song all the way to getting it to market, distribution, and then monetizing it and everything in between. So think distribution, songwriting, production, social media, publicity, streaming. We've got all this stuff. And like some of the key speakers, we've got Tim Westergren from Sessions, which is one of the biggest live streaming companies. And we also have Rick Barker, who was the manager of Taylor Swift in getting her known and signed and all that kind of great stuff. Rick Barker, if you look him up on Instagram, he's got some great info. And then we've got networking opportunities where you get a chance to talk to industry professionals. We're doing a really cool thing on Saturday where we've got producer rooms where you can actually jump room to room, virtually, of course, and talk to producers. And we've got Grammy Award-winning producers, Juno Award-winning producers. And then we've got songwriting rooms, so you're talking to songwriters. And then we're gonna have a tech rooms where you're talking to online tools and some new cool things that are coming out. So we really focus on education, and you know, people are like, how do you do all this stuff? And it's like, well, it really works right alongside with what I'm doing with CD Baby, because our focus is education. We're, as far as a distributor, we actually put so much money into the education side with the DIY blog, the DIY podcast, and we normally have a DIY conference, that this actually fits right alongside with it. And, you know, throughout this time, what's really big with Indie Week is community. We know people are really having a hard time. We also run a session every Tuesday for free called Indie Weekly, 4 p.m. And tomorrow is info session on Indie 101. But we found that by being there and allowing access to info and talking all the time, artists are connecting and they're building a community offline. People are collaborating on songs, connecting with a producer, and now their songs are getting produced. It's pretty cool, and it's also international. So I try to be positive in that we're going to get through these weird times. Together is better than alone. Connecting online has been working. But also, you know what? This is a time to maybe pause and build your story. And as you're building it, you can build your connections so that truthfully, when this is all said and done and we're out on the other side of this kind of space of weird things happening, it could be a better place. And I really believe that. And so with everything that I do, CD Baby or Indie Week, we try to put out a positive message and just be there. And if anything I say is try to connect. If you can, reach out to 3 people a week that you haven't talked to in a long time. And you'd be surprised at learning what their story is since you've talked to them. And with that, you don't know what kind of connection you might make. I've connected with people I haven't talked to in a long time, and we're doing business together. It's really cool. So that's what we're doing. You know, Indie Week, every Tuesday is Indie Weekly. Every quarter, meaning every 3 or 4 months, we're doing a conference. And last year we had mentorship sessions. We're going to be doing some of that again. And we've got some more stuff planned that I can't talk about that I'm really excited about. But anyways, yeah, I'm rambling a bit, sorry. But yeah, it's just, you know what? It's tough. I get it. We're going through weird stuff, but we want everybody to be safe and happy.
That is wonderful. Well, Darryl, it's been, I feel like we haven't even, we've touched a lot, but I feel like there's probably more to discuss.
Always. It's a huge topic, and it's a lifelong journey of learning in the music business. That's one thing to note, is that we can always keep learning.
Yeah, I really resonate with the fact you're talking about education, and that is something that we are strong as well. And so we're so glad to have you on today, because like everything you're talking about is just so much what we're about. So really appreciate you being here, buddy. Really do.
Oh, I appreciate you guys having me. This is great. And you know, I love doing this kind of stuff. I love connecting with people. If anybody wants, go to Instagram. You can find me, connect with me there. And also CD Baby Canada. Follow, like, if you are a CD Baby artist, here's one thing that I could say playlist wise. If you are a CD Baby artist, go to CD Baby Canada on Instagram, and in the bio there's links, and there is a link to a podcast that we curate. So if you're a CD Baby artist, you can submit a song, and you might end up on one of our playlists.
Nice.
There you go. Wow. Well, Darryl, again, thank you so much. And viewers, thank you for joining us. I'm hoping that you got a lot out of this. I know I have, and I'll probably have to re-listen to this to get it all in my head again. But Darryl, you're absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to continuing our conversations about all of this.
Yeah, anytime. I'm available anytime for you guys. So
Awesome.
this would be great.
Awesome. And as we have said throughout the show, at least Dale has said throughout the show, just remember GMIHub.ca to sign up for the newsletter in order to get the special, well, just to get our newsletter, but also get the special code to get your Darryl, how did we say it? The
Free Pro single release through
free
CD
pro,
Baby.
Yes. So sign up for our newsletter. Also, go to that website to learn more about the Christmas project and how you can submit your original Christmas song for this coming year's GMIHub Family Christmas Volume 2. And did I miss anything?
Well, just the date is June 13th. It has to be submitted before that date. You got some time, but we really want you to jump and try to get it in as soon as you possibly can. That gives us more time to actually look at the submissions. Also, we want to remember about the subscribe.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, we never talked about this. Why don't we ever talk about? Please subscribe. No, it's just that we are at a place that we've got about 140 subscribers. We need more people. We want you to be our subscriber. So jump on there and subscribe to our YouTube channel, GMIHub Online. We want to get to 1,000. We really need to do that. And so with your help, we can do it. So jump in there and subscribe away and like the videos. Check out all the other videos too, and there may be something in there you go, oh man, I have a friend of mine who might need this subject that we're talking, because we got some amazing interviews there, and we'd love to be able to have that help you, because that's what we're here for, to help you as an artist.
And guess what? I got a secret.
What secret?
The secret. If we get 100, what's our goal?
Well, we have 142 right now, 41.
So if we get about 250. No, wait, hold on.
What are you playing at? What are you getting at? Are you talking about the cheerleader thing?
I am. I've got some footage.
I want to tell everybody this. We have an incredible opportunity for you to see our other co-host who is here for Studio Talk, Darryl. No, Darryl is not this Darryl, but Darryl Duick. At one point was at a what would you say, a cheerleading tournament, and he got involved. So if we get 250 subscribers, we will air that video.
We will, if you want to see it. If you want to see it. If you don't want to see it, well, but I think you're going to want to see it.
If you don't want to see him as a cheerleader, that's fine. But if you do, 250 subscribers. Come on, let's do it.
Let's do it. Woo! And speaking of Studio Talk, that will be happening next week. So you are going to want to tune in. But for now, we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good week.